Okay, we'll call the work session to order. And, got a motion on the agenda, please? Kind of thin here tonight.
Motion to approve the agenda for this evening.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay. Anything on awards and recognition tonight? Okay. Under new business, the presentation of the wastewater treatment plant.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Tonight I've asked Chris Carr to come. He's with ESG Engineering, and he's going to give us an update on our wastewater treatment plant, our new one.
Okay. Is that working up there? Oh, okay. This one here.
Good evening, all. My name is Chris Carr, and I'm with ESG Engineering, and I'm the project lead for the design of the Flowery Branch wastewater plant expansion. This update couldn't be more timely. We just recently had a big project milestone with our CMAR team and design team. So I'll step through kind of where the project's at currently and what we've found so far and what the next steps are to bring this project into the full construction phase and completion. This project was chosen to be delivered with a CMAR methodology, construction manager at risk. So the contractor has already been selected and is part of the design phase to help instill the perspective of a contractor during the design and help us focus on meeting our budget. The design level, we're currently at about 30%, and you'll see in just a few minutes when I start talking about some of the slides that you have in front of you, showing you what level of design or what the types of things that we're looking at right now. And the meeting that I mentioned previously was the 30% design cost review workshop. And we just had that very recently and stepped through what the current cost estimate is for the expansion. Because as you know, things are very expensive, and previously the budget was exceeded, and so we're working towards a very intense focus on meeting our overall budget. And so the first cost estimate came in at approximately $45 million. We knew it would be a little bit high. We are aiming for $40 million for the total budget for the expansion. And we've already identified several things that could be utilized during construction, during design to help reduce that cost. And I'll talk to those in just a minute once I step through some of the other summary items. We're working on permitting with Georgia DOT, gaining access for a second package or a second facility entrance. And then we're also working on what we call early work packages. There are some things at the plant right now that are not they're not functioning as well as they should be. And so rather than wait for the full design to get done, we're doing some things early on to help replace some equipment that needs care and won't make it in time for the full design and full construction to be completed. So if you're looking at the slides, there is we call it a process flow diagram. It looks like a little one-line sketch of the facility. And I'm sorry, others can't see it because it's a glorious work of art. At least it is to us engineering folk. And I'll try to keep this to 10 minutes. I get to be a chatty Cathy when I start talking about nerdy stuff. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to take the existing plant and we are adding to it to reach the 2.2 million gallon per day capacity that we are designing for and have a permit for into Lake Lanier. And so we're adding about 1.5 million gallon per day capacity of treatment to the existing plant while also doing some upgrades to the existing plant. And so what this diagram shows you is just the addition of some new components while also showing you how we're keeping the existing assets and reusing them and optimizing the use of the money that's already been spent on site. Also on the slides is a site plan. It's an initial site plan that has since changed since our cost meeting. Basically what we've learned from the cost workshop is there is some significant money to be saved with some changes to the concrete approach with the big tanks there. There was some basically radial walls that were more costly to construct, required more concrete, and we found alternate ways to do that, and that's the methodology we're proceeding with. And that will save multiple millions of dollars. And so that's, if you're wondering how we're going to get from $45 million down, those big items, that's the way we're getting there, not with nitpicking, not with small, shortchange items or circumventing quality or minimizing the facility's ability to treat, to permit. We're not doing anything like that. We're building smarter is the best way to put it, by looking at through the contractor's eyes of how they construct, how much time does it take, how much material does it take, and those kinds of decisions. And so we're baking that into the design right now, so there won't, once we get to the end, they'll have a number, we'll have a number, and they'll move forward with it, and it'll be on budget. In addition, we're also reducing some of the facility size and making them shaped a little bit differently. So for example, if you see the membrane building or membrane pump and UV building on this site plan, that building is being reduced in size, and we're relocating some equipment to get our facility costs down, because we noticed that some of the costs associated with that building were more than we had expected. So those are the types of changes that we're making as we continue with the design, to make sure that we're focused on budget and meeting something that, that I'll point him out since he's in the office, or in the audience. Keeping Peter happy, because he has to run the plant, and making sure he has something that's operable and maintainable, but also focusing on the budget, like I mentioned. The other drawing that's included, just for your information, is called a process instrumentation diagram. P&ID is what we call it. I put that in there just so you can kind of understand what we're building in the early phases of the project. This, from a design perspective, this is our roadmap. It doesn't look like much, but it's our roadmap for basically the detailed design going forward. It tells us electrically what controls are there, what panels are there. It tells us what valves are there. It tells us all the mechanical stuff from a conceptual perspective, and then now we just have to put it on the drawings from a physical perspective. So this drawing is one of many that we've already developed, and we're taking this into the detailed design phase, which you'll start to see more structures and structural drawings and architectural drawings, piping drawings, things like that will be the next phase. So the next steps, and the last slide I have, is to take the 30% cost estimate package that we have and continue to work with it, continue to work with the contractor to optimize the design, release our early release equipment packages out and get that equipment procured so we can get that installed early, and help the facility while we're continuing to do the design, and then obviously finish the design. And our target is to reach the 80% mark, because as part of the CMAR process, we need to hit the 80% mark before our contractor will give us a guaranteed maximum price. And that price should align with all of his cost estimates that he's given us along the way. So the next phase for our cost estimate will be the 60%, and we'll restatus the design, restatus the project, make sure we're on budget, and then if we need to make adjustments then again, we will do that. And then we'll move to the 80%, and then at that point, they'll give us the guaranteed price, and then they can begin procurement and begin the project. And I believe that is it for my summary.
So, so February, 80% design complete, and then construction would begin by March 29th?
The notice to proceed. They would have a lot of things they would have to do administratively and things like that, but yes, that is correct.
So it's saying it's 45 million is what the estimate is right now, and that is at the 30% mark. They're saying it's at 45 million.
Correct.
So then you'll do some things to try to adjust that down without, like you said, losing the quality and the efficiency of it, and then come back with a 60% right at the end of the year. And then, so that number could come down from there.
Correct.
And then a little bit later, about a month and a half later, you come back for the 80% design.
Correct.
And then that's when it's locked in.
Correct.
Okay.
And if for any reason, which we don't expect this to be the case, but if for any reason we can't agree on a number at that 80% mark, we could go out for bid. We can kind of take the off ramp of the CMAR process. Okay. Just for clarity though, that 45 number included $5 million of contingency. So early on in the process, there's a lot of unknowns, right? So we keep a buffer there. And so we consider it real, and that's how we treat it, and that's how we move forward to try to reduce cost. But there is a $5 million contingency.
And that's included in the
It is included in the 45, correct.
Anybody else have any?
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
All right, next on the agenda, consideration of the employee insurance for next year.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have asked Ms. Tammy Starkey with NFP to come and go through our entire process that we went through and what staff's recommendations are for insurance for 2024.
Thank you. So Tammy Starkey with NFP. I am the employee benefits consultant for the city. So the employee benefit plans are up for renewal January 1st of every year. For January 1st of 2023, we did move the medical, dental, and vision to Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield. With that on the health plan, we saw a savings of about $37,000 in annual premium versus what the city had paid in 2022. So for 2024, again, up for renewal within the health plan, we did complete a full market analysis of all viable carriers that have a network and plan access available for city employees and their dependents. So the proposals on the medical side, Aetna came in at an increase of 19.4% above current cost in 2023. Cigna was an increase of 2%, and United Healthcare 22.9% increase. So the renewal from Anthem was initially proposed at a 9% increase. We were able to negotiate that to a 4% increase total, which is approximately 29% increase in annual premium. So when we look at the net balance of the savings moving to Anthem this year for 2023 versus an increase in 2024, the city's health plan costs are still below what they were in 2022 with the partnership with Anthem. So with this, there would be no plan design changes, no network access changes with Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, and no changes to employee contributions, with the city absorbing that 29% or 29,004% increase. The dental coverage with Anthem, there is no change there, so that will stay the same. We continue to offer a low plan and a high plan option for employees to choose from, where they can choose the value of the benefit they want, the coverage level they want, versus the cost that they pay for that dental coverage. Vision will continue with Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield as well. No change to premiums, cost, or network there. For the life and disability coverage, that will continue. There's a city-paid benefit for the employee of $25,000, the spouse $10,000, and for children $2,500. We did add last year the opportunity for employees to purchase additional term life insurance through the group plan, so that will continue at no cost increase or change, as well as the city-paid long-term disability coverage. For this year, we did also add the short-term disability option for employees to choose. There were requests from employees throughout the year to make a modification to that plan and the benefits available, because currently is set up where it will offset for any paid time off that the employee uses during that disability time. So they essentially receive no benefit from the disability policy. So there was a request to adjust that, where now they could use their paid time off to supplement their disability income. So the disability income is 60% of their earnings, their active earnings. So they could use their paid time off to make themselves 100% whole in their salary. So with that change to the plan design, it is a 15% increase to premiums to the employees.
Let me stop you just a minute. You said if they have paid time off, they can use that money instead of taking the time off
Right.
to offset some of the costs of health.
Yes.
Is that what we're doing?
Yes, and the disability plan only pays 60% of their earnings, so if they go out and they use that short-term disability benefit, it would only pay 60% of what they would have made if they were actively working, so they can use their paid time off to make up the difference to get 100% of their compensation.
I didn't mean to.
No, that's right, that was
Second
similar
question.
question, very similar, yes.
Thank you.
So if
I
they-
tried to figure out how we explain this easily. It's a small change, but I think it's very valuable, and as I said, we had many employees request this, that they saw value in that, in electing that coverage.
How many days has to elapse before an employee can claim short-term disability?
I think we're at 14 days on that policy.
14.
14, and that's all employee paid. That short-term disability is all employee paid. If they choose it, that's all employee paid. The city does not pay for that.
Gotcha.
That's the new, did we just add that? Okay, yeah.
For 2023, we just added that. And then for 2023, we had also added the flexible spending accounts where employees can contribute pre-tax money to save for qualified medical, dental, vision expenses, as well as dependent daycare expenses. So that will continue, that employees will have that option to make those elections for 2024. That will be the only benefit that employees have to re-enroll in because the IRS does mandate that you must make a new election every year. For all other benefits, employees will have open enrollment, will have educational meetings, will have on-site enrollment support, a counselor available to help them make those elections. But if they choose not to make elections, everything will carry over into 2024 except flexible spending. They do have to make a new election there. And that is all I have.
And we usually add a little percentage, right, in the budget, and we set it in July for an increase in insurance.
Right.
So would this cover that percentage that we added, will it cover?
Yes, sir,
this?
it's covered.
Okay.
Any other questions? No. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay, next we'll consider the first reading of ordinance 700.
Mr. Mayor, I'm going to chime in here. I worked on this with the city manager. State law, the Home Rule Act, the Home Rule Municipal Act, has some rather old and arcane rules about leasing municipally owned property, but it contains a provision, a home rule provision, if you will, that says if you adopt language into your own charter, that is the language that will govern. And so all this does really is add authority to the city charter, specific authority that y'all can lease municipal property under terms and conditions that you deem to be in the best interest of the city. It gives you more flexibility for the city-owned property that you have that you could then lease under equitable terms. You could set policies for exactly how you want to do that. You can give instructions to the city manager and I about how you want to do that. And all those leases are still going to have to come back before you as a body for approval.
It says amend the charter. That I was under the assumption, and may be wrong, that anytime the charter was amended, that it would have to go through the General Assembly first to get approval from them before we could vote on amending it, or is it?
No, sir. There are, the Municipal Home Rule Act provides that by virtue of passing an ordinance at 2 successive meetings, if it's noticed and advertised, and if it's available at the office of the clerk, that the city has the power to amend its own charter. There are limitations on that in the Home Rule Act. You cannot do things such as changing your term of office, the manner of electing, the number of members of city council, but something like this where there's a specific home rule authority about how you govern yourselves, you absolutely can do it yourself.
Yeah. Thank you for clarifying that.
Anybody else?
No.
Okay. Next, consideration of next year's Vibrant Communities Grant.
Can I weigh in there? These, if you're inclined to approve this, you have to vote to approve this ordinance at 2 consecutive regularly scheduled meetings. And so I just wanted to add that into it. is one of the particular rules, and I guess we're in the work session part, but when you get to the voting section, this will require two approvals.
So we'll vote tonight and we'll vote the next meeting. Okay. You ready? Come on. Communities grant.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I actually have a couple pieces of good news this evening. The first one being that the city has been awarded the fiscal year '24 Vibrant Communities Grant from the Georgia Council for the Arts in the amount of $5,000 to be used for cultivating the growth of a vibrant and thriving community through art. What that translates to is, I think Ms. Renee has some aspirations of some 3D art around the city, some murals. The details haven't been worked out yet, but it's a little bump to help her pursue those initiatives, and I think it will have a good impact on the city for everyone to enjoy. So Ms. Sheila has that contract for you should you choose to accept it.
Good.
The second piece of good news I have this evening, I was given the recommendation to apply for some grants provided by Norfolk Southern, and just this week I received an email saying that the city was awarded the grant, and it is for $50,000 for the police department to purchase a response readiness vehicle. So I know the chief and the rest of the police department are very excited about it, and I wanted to let you guys know the good news. With either of these grants, can I answer any questions about them?
Explain what an emergency response vehicle is.
Can you say that one more time, sir?
What is the emergency response vehicle? Can you explain that?
Well, what I know at this point in time is it's a Ford Expedition, and they plan to outfit it with some specialized equipment that will allow them a more tactical response to a wide array of law enforcement type emergencies that they currently don't have the capability to respond to.
It's kind of moving the headquarters to the scene or to wherever they need it. That will, then they'll have a lot more right there that they won't have at the police station, so.
That's correct.
Who is this grant from?
Norfolk Southern.
Interesting.
That's right.
So it's a mobile command unit, just
That's right.
Yes, sir, that term has also been used, mobile command unit.
Just in case the train turns over, I guess.
They need a centralized command source, yes, sir.
Yeah, you said that's secured?
Yes, sir, Norfolk Southern seems to have a more liberal disbursement policy than some of the more federal agencies do. And at this point, there's not a contract involved, but there is reporting standards after the program's been wrapped up, of course, but not an official contract to sign or anything like that, so.
Yeah, I think the Industrial Revolution allowed the railroads to do a lot of stuff, and they've never taken it away. It's just there, and they just do what they want to. But that's great, though. $50,000 to have equipment like that, that's incredible.
I know they're very excited about it downstairs.
Awesome.
Maybe they can throw in repairs on the railroad crossing at the same time.
Working on that as well, sir.
Laz, how'd you find out about this particular grant here?
City manager actually recommended that I pursue the different grant programs with Norfolk Southern.
Okay, very good. It's awesome.
Outstanding.
Any other questions?
Great job.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to the department reports. City manager report.
I have nothing to report. Thank you.
Okay.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
City clerk.
Yes, sir. I just want to mention really quick that we had a very successful food drive, and so for anyone that might be listening on our live channel, thank you for any food that was donated. It all went to the Georgia Mountain Food Bank, so we appreciate that. And then we finished up the election, so I was going to congratulate Mr. Mundy and Mr. Mezzanotte, and neither are here, but we congratulate them on winning their races. So that's all I had. Thank you.
It's strange, we had two guys that just got elected, and neither one of them are here, so.
They're gearing up for 4 more years.
Yeah, I don't remember celebrating that much when I got elected, but it's pretty good. Anyway, and the Department of Fun is not here.
She is not, but I will just remind everyone that our Christmas parade is this weekend, and the lighting of the tree all this is on Saturday, and Renee has worked very hard. There will be vendors, there will be food trucks, there will be just lots of fun and games for everyone.
I might add, it is going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to light the tree at 7 o'clock. There's a parade that will start about 6:30.
6 o'clock.
Yeah, so.
6 o'clock.
And your speech begins at 5:30? You're gonna need an hour and a half, or?
Yeah, no, my speech will be very quick. So, yeah. And we're going to have a special guest lighting the tree. He's going to help me light the tree, and it's just going to be a surprise, and it's going to be great. So, yeah. Finance Department.
Good evening. I have just a few items. Just address Mr. Anglin's question about the increase in health insurance. If you remember, during the budget process, we established the Employee Benefits Fund, and it was for that very purpose, to start building a fund balance to mitigate some of these ups and downs from year to year. So we do have some buffer built in there to cover that extra cost.
Okay, thank you.
Just an update on the audit. The audit has been complete. So you should have a presentation on that next meeting. I think it's December 7th. Everything went fine. We did good. So no surprises there. And the last thing I wanted to say, if you remember this citizens report we built last year, we have built a new one for this year with updated information. It is currently on our website. We are waiting on the printed copies to come in, but just wanted to notify everybody that it is on our website. So if you'd like to look at it, you can go ahead and go out there and pull it. But then we will have hard copies probably in a week or two for y'all to grab some and hand out, or we'll have them up front for the public to receive. Thank you.
Got it. Thank you.
HR Department. Everybody's getting trained, so she'll be back. So, Planning Department, he's out. Police Department. Public Works.
I would like to just update you on the painting of the water tank, which is coming along very well, and they should be finishing that very soon. And the other thing I would like to tell you is, a lot of times that you hear from citizens complaints and everything, but the last 2 days, this gentleman missed me at Public Works, and he actually came back today to tell me how beautiful the city was. And while I was on Main Street, I had 2 other people tell me the same thing. So things are looking good. You guys are doing a good job, and let's thank Renee. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Attorney's report.
Nothing to report, Mr. Mayor.
Council report.
I just want to thank everybody for, that came out in person and those showed up online. And a big thank you to our staff. An amazing job everybody's doing. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, just want to, I know Chris and Joe are not here, but want to congratulate them this evening for winning their elections. So.
Well, it seems like I have to say something, so happy Thanksgiving.
Okay, we'll adjourn that session, and the voting session will start. And we have public comments, and we have one person to speak, Ms. Donna Knackers. Come right up.
Hello.
Donna Knackers. I live in the Summit Lake subdivision at 5887 Screechaw Drive, so I'm a neighbor. I just wanted to, in the spirit of thanks, I wanted to thank the police department. We really appreciate them. On Halloween night, we had more trick-or-treaters than we've seen in the 3 years that we've lived in the subdivision, and also more cars than we've ever seen on trick-or-treat night. And it was just really nice to have a police officer do rounds in the community that evening to make sure that the kids and the drivers were safe. So I just wanted to say thanks.
And thank you all for coming so much. We appreciate that. Okay, next we have the consent agenda. Somebody want to make a motion on that?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? In the voting section of the new business, first is the consideration of the employee insurance for calendar year 2024. And we need a motion for that.
Make a motion to approve staff's recommendations for employee insurance for calendar year 2024.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next is the first reading of ordinance 700.
The attorney does not actually have to read it, the caption, so you can make a motion if you would like to, or he
Okay.
can read it if you would like to.
It doesn't have to read it, here
We need
goes.
a motion first then.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 700, amending the charter of the city of Flowery Branch to allow for more efficient and effective leasing of properties.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that probably will save us a bunch of time over the year. We don't have to do that twice. That's good. Next is the consideration of 2024 Vibrant Grants Community, or community grants. So we need a motion on that.
Make a motion to accept the grant award of $5,000 from the Georgia Council of the Arts. Comply with the grant conditions and authorize the mayor and staff to execute necessary documents to comply with the grant requirements and conditions.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Is there an executive session?
Yes, sir. For property acquisition, pending litigation, and personnel, please.
Ooh, the trifecta.
Make a motion to move into executive session for property, personnel, and potential litigation. Yes.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you all for coming tonight. And we will be back.
nice ones on the road for you. All right. So we, motion to exit executive session.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. We have one more motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nice. That's what I'm talking about.